Hey y'all! My name is Sarah, and today's book review will be the third book to the Fallen Angel series. That's right. Envy by J.R. Ward. This book! If I didn't think my heart could be destroyed, ripped, tattered, burned, and the ashes thrown across the winds, this book just did that. And y'all might think, oh, she's very dramatic on some things when it comes to her heart. No! This one! I will tell you why in spoilers, but for right now, non-spoilers. No, since this is a J.R. Ward book, and you know how much I love her, do I really need to tell you how many stars this book gets? I'm just saying. I'll leave it up to you. So yeah, third book. Round 3 for Jim and Devina. And we are back in Caldwell. Yes! Back on the home grounds. So the main couple this time is Thomas Del Vecchio. He is a cop for Caldwell, and he works with another cop who is part of the internal affairs. Sophia Riley, but she goes by Riley, and Thomas goes by Vec. And so there's like a serial killer that's on the loose. In the beginning, Vec has him. He's all dying and stuff. He's like wondering, did I do that? And so we find out that Vec is actually the son of a serial killer that's about to die in a few days. Woo! But we got some creepy stuff going on with Vec. So Devina, being herself, is trying to win the game. Jim, after losing the last game, wants to win more than ever. And we just find out how these couples together meet Jim and his team. We get some scary stuff going around. We get some heartbreaking stuff. And we get surprising stuff. I will get you those in spoilers. So that's as far as I will get for non-spoilers. So yeah, this is book 3 in the Fallen Angel series, Envy by J.R. Ward. We'll find out why it's called Envy in a second. So yeah, bye non-spoilers. Whoa, spoilers. So as I said, Envy has to do something with the book again, and that's because of Devina. I am sick and tired of her. So yeah, Devina is envious of this couple. And she's like, oh, they make me want to hurl. They make me sick to my stomach. Every time she sees them together. She even says it in front of Jim. It's like, I'm very envious of them. Can we please not get a title of a book that has to revolve around her ego? Seriously. So on spoilers, I will leave 2 important spoilers at the very end of this review. So like I said, Vec, he is a Caldwell police officer. And his partner is Stella Cruz. People are like, who's Stella Cruz? How dare you? He was Butch's partner in the BDB series. So I'm like, yay, call back. But people are like, he's just a human and a cop. We don't care. I do. So let me get off of this train before I start ranting. So yeah, Vec is Stella Cruz's partner. Yay, sorry. And we open the book with Vec in the woods outside of a hotel with a serial killer he's been trying to get evidence against, with his throat semi-ripped out. And he thinks he did it, but he does not remember, and every time he tries to remember, his head hurts. So I'm thinking, ooh, seriously. And so, but he calls 911, and so the guy's gonna make it. And that's when Riley shows up. She goes by Riley in this book. She goes by the book. She's a cop that goes by the book, which I really appreciate. And every time Vec says, I probably did it, she's like, there's no evidence pointing to you. Why do you keep saying that? But in the back of her mind, and everyone's mind, is that because Vec is the son of Thomas, Del Vecchio. I need to get that name right. Yeah, his name is Thomas Del Vecchio Sr., who is a serial killer. He has a lot of kills. He's gonna die in a few days. But he got some creepy followers. So everyone remembers who his father is, and he always knows who his father is, and thinking, is he gonna be like who his father is? And I'm like, no, honey, no, the sins of the father does not need to come onto you. But apparently Jim thinks otherwise because, okay. Remember how it's in the first book, Vin, I'm so sorry, Vin, he could see the future and the terrible future, and then, the last character, oh god, Greer, I can remember that name, Greer, she could see her ghost brother. Well, for Vec this time, he has two shadows, which sounds kind of creepy. So Jim sees these two shadows, which means like here's the good side and there's the evil side that he was born with. So it's like it's a yin yang that lives within Vec, but he's always struggling with it. So it's like, okay, good versus evil, literally and in person. Jim tries to do some new stuff with Eddie teaching him. It doesn't go so well, so we're not gonna try that trick again. So yeah, I do kind of like the chemistry between Vec and Riley. The only problem is y'all are partners in the work environment. Really? It would have been funny if someone was like the police officer and the fireman, but you know, whatever. So I was like a little iffy on that, but after I saw them two talking with each other and Riley always saying, why do you always assume the worst of you and everything, and how Vec respects her, how she does her job, I was like, I like these two. I like these two. It's like my favorite scene with them is when she takes Vec to go meet her parents. It's like, you know, her mom was worried about her, and she's like thinking, can you just come as my partner? My mom makes a lot of food. She's like, Vec, when was the last time I ate any real food? And so, you know, he goes. He meets Riley's parents. Okay, get this. Riley's a redhead with green eyes and everything. Riley, did I forget to mention I'm adopted? She meets her parents. They're African American. I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. I'm with Vec on this one. I almost pissed in my pants when Daddy Riley showed up. And it's like he's all big and everything. He's all he's like looking at him like, you with my daughter. I'm like, with Vec. No, we're just partners. Nothing happened. So it's like, oh my god. And so oh my god. Riley and her mama go to the kitchen to make some dinner, and Papa Tom, because his name's Thomas as well, takes Vec to the other room. They're just getting a drink and everything, and Vec's about to drink. So y'all got the wedding date planned out? In the background, Dad! I was like, oh my god, this guy is gonna kill me. I like him. It's like, the Vec's like, nice one. And the dad's like, I know. So, the whole thing ties in because, Vec, he's not exactly on the case with the serial killer, but he's working cold cases with Riley. And in a way, they find a connection between the killer, because they think he killed the certain person, and the missings report is Sissy. Thus comes in Jim, which is not very good because I have to agree with Adrian and Eddie. Jim's kind of compromised when it comes to Sissy. He even always refers to her as his Sissy. So I was like, and when he meets her parents and pretends to be an FBI agent to work with Vec and Riley for the interview, I'm like, Jim, I know the guys, you don't want to listen to guys, and I know Nigel is a major douche, but you kind of need to listen to them on this one because you're too attached to this. He even starts wearing a necklace piece that Sissy's mom gave to him so he can remember her, because she knows that sometimes people will forget. So it's like, speaking of Nigel, he's a major douche. For real. He's trying to go by the rules the creator set out, and Colin is no longer having it. I swear, I'm with Colin on this one. Nigel just needs to get out of his comfort zone, or in this case, get his head out of his ass and start doing something! I mean, Devina is on the front line, screwing with people. Jim and the Angels are risking their lives. We got humans that have no clue that they're tied into this stupid game. And I know I shall be the gentleman in this game. I shall follow the rules. Well, you know what? Ugh! Colin leaves. The other two bystander angels don't do nothing, and Nigel's just pouting along in this book until he goes to find Colin, and it's like they have a little bickering. Nigel goes back, and at the very end of the book, they kiss and make up. That's as far as I'll get into that, because I really, really, really don't like Nigel. Back down on Earth. So, yeah. Oh my god, I'm so upset. Okay, Vec finds a piece of Sissy's jewelry in the serial killer's collection, even though Devina planted it. Of course she did. And while she's doing that, she's also healing the serial killer to give Jim a message and make people believe that Vec is his father's son, aka killing people. And so that brings Vec closer to the case, and then eventually the serial killer tells Riley where to find the body and says, make sure he knows she suffered. Make sure he knows she suffered and everything. And they do find Sissy's body, but some people are thinking these symbols are very ritualistic, so it doesn't exactly match this guy's MO, so like wondering if there's another killer. And then there's this other cop that works with Vec and everything, and he's like telling Riley that after Vec says, I love you, now it's our relationship with you, I'm like, that gets overshadowed when this Detective Bales says that Vec has a record, and because he was underage, it's sealed. Again, sins of the father. And so he tells Riley this guy, Vec, had his whole psych eval and everything pointing out to being a psychopath, just like his father. And there's a small case that Vec's dad did that was the exact same thing, even though it's not his same MO. And people Riley's not thinking maybe that Vec is actually stepping into his father's shoes and keeping the memory alive. Even though he just told her, like the other night, that he found his mother dead by the hands of his father because he loved her oh so much. Vec, along with Jim, goes to meet Daddy Dearest, where I'm like, I smell sulfur. I'm out of here. Seriously, that guy scared me, and he's a fictional character. He's like, even says the same thing the serial killer said. I know you're not alone. She wants me to tell you she suffered. Devina. Apparently she helped out Vec's dad during his first kill. And this tying is, how did she know that Vec Jr., Thomas Del Vecchio Jr., would be the soul in the games? Should have planned it out so far. We really need to talk to the creator about these rules. So everyone thinks that Vec killed Sissy. They even have him do a lie detector. He passes with flying colors, and Riley, knowing this is all a bunch of BS, calls in the help of Dela Cruz, and they're like, he doesn't have a record. Why would Bales say that? And so, why would he do that? But then Riley finds out. She leaves to go tell Vec. Bales attacks her at the end and kidnaps her, thus bringing down the showdown between Devina and Vec. And Jim, who's also inside Vec's body after doing a cool little trick that I mentioned before. He wanted to try again, but he managed to do it this time and succeed. So yeah. Apparently Bales is a fan of Vec's dad. He was doing the killing. Well, he planted all of that stuff in honor of Papa Vec. So Vec Jr. would have no choice but to continue on the tradition. Devina had him kill himself. She did a little voodoo over Riley, and the crossroad point happened, where Vec had to kill the serial killer, who was actually Riley, with the guise of the serial killer's body over her. And Devina's like, if you kill him, you can save your woman. I don't know who okay, that's not even a big question. No, I don't like him right here. Devina. Yeah. But luckily, Vec makes the right decisions. He's like, nope, screw you. I don't believe you. I can't hear anyone down here, so I am not gonna agree to this. You probably already killed Riley, and I will not do this. In other words, number 2 score for heaven. Devina goes all bitchy and makes the cave collapse. Jim and Vec hustle out with Riley in Vec's arms, now looking like Riley, and they barely make it. Woo! So it's like, happy ending for those two. He proposes 2 weeks later. It's like, oh, happy ending. So now we are getting ready for the next round, which is very interesting because Nigel, who was saying that Devina in the last book would get reprimanded by the maker, she does. I'm wondering about these rules because we're going to have to go back and get a soul. It's going to be like a redo, but Devina still has the win. But if Jim wins, then the win will go to him. Either way, we're getting Matthias back. I know people are like, Matthias? No, he was evil. Well, then again, I did say I didn't exactly feel him as necessarily evil. So I believe he deserved a second chance. And he's getting it, so I can't wait to see how that turns out. You hear me? I believe Matthias gets a second chance. Please don't hurt me. So, okay. The last 2 things I want to talk about at the end of this review. The heart thing. If I wasn't on break, I would have been crying. I swear to God, I would have been crying. Instead, because there were people around me and I was on break at lunch, I was just doing this. Devina! I'm about to start crying again. That's the only thing I can call her. You bitch! How dare you? How dare you? Adrian and Eddie were just having a night out after having a pissy fit conversational argument with Jim. They went to the Iron Mask. We did not see Trez there. And they get attacked outside by one of Devina's infected minions. Jim comes in to save the guys. Adrian makes it, but they try to get into a bank so they can save Eddie because he's mortally wounded. And then we start smelling roses. And if no one knows what that means someone is dying. Eddie is dying, and we cannot save him. I swear. Adrian is breaking down. Eddie's been his rock through all these millennia. He was the one that got Adrian out of their version of hell. Jim is trying to heal him. He has no clue how to do it, and Eddie's just dying. He's telling Adrian to stay with their boy, make sure Jim wins this thing. And then that's all we can smell is roses. And that's when we know that Eddie is dead. No. And I swear, I was with people, I was on break from lunch, and I could not cry. I could not run around this house screaming, damn you, Devina. But it's like, she took away one of my boys, and he is dead. And they just stick him in a hiding spot in Jim's place, and they just leave the body there smelling of roses. Colin protects it after Adrian gets attacked by one of Devina's minions, like a multiple army. But that's just it. I was waiting. I was just waiting for a miracle at the end of this book, but no. Eddie is dead. We just know his body, so we think we can get him back, but he's just dead right now. So it's just Adrian, who no longer has that person holding him down. We have Devina crawling around in his head, and Jim, who is always worried about having partners because he always did a job by himself. He knew the value of Eddie. Eddie was his teacher and everything, and now he's dead. Screw you, Nigel. Yeah, for you following the rules and everything. Damn you, Devina, for being the bitch that you are. I'm gonna have to move on to this one. Because this cannot be the end of Eddie. I believe that he will come out. I know that he will come out, but this was no. We were barely halfway into this book, and he dies. I'm gonna have to. One second. Now let's switch over to my next emotion. First part of this book and last part of this book, we figure out who attacked the serial killer. Adrian does a little mind of voodoo on Vec, And he says this, and it doesn't even get brought up at the end in this entire book after we find out about this. Vec says what attacked the serial killer. Vampire. And let us remember, we are in Caldwell. And Adrian's like, damn it, there's only one creature in the world that can do that. And it doesn't get brought up again. At all. Which brother? Which brother? Because at the very end, when Vec is going to go check on Riley at the hotel, at the hospital, he recognizes the person walking by in his AKA shit kickers. He stops in front of Vec, who's getting attacked by a serious migraine, and he said that it has been taken care of. And a warrior knowing gaze. And then he leaves. I know for a fact it's not Wrath. Could it be Tor? It can't be Quinn. Maybe it's Tor, but either way. It doesn't get brought up again in this entire book! How dare you, J.R. Ward? How dare you? For throwing out these little tidbits, having the bait on the line. I'm going, nah, 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 nah. And by the time I grab it, the line slacks. I'm like, meh. You killed off one of my boys. I don't want to start crying again. And you threw out this tiny little teaser, and you don't address it later. Jim's like, oh wait, do I need to invest in garlic? And that's it. You can see how upset I am about this book. Either way, must I really give out how many stars this book deserves? Love the book. Nice installment in the series. Book number 3. We get an evil little tease of the BDB world. We better get a damn miracle in the next book. And we got Matthias, so I hope he makes another right choice. And, oh yeah, Devina, I have a little something for you. You know all that precious crap you love to hoard and stuff? And, well, you know what? Have fun looking for them, because I set up a very special FedEx system where you'll never see your stuff again. It's going worldwide, 24/7 non-delivery. Now I just gotta get my hands on that mirror. And I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun with that, so ha! The Devina against the Devina army strikes again! And we shall defeat you. So yeah. Envy by J.R. Ward. Must I really give out how many stars? So, 3rd book in the Fallen Angel series. And yeah, that's as much as I'll go into it. So yeah. My name is Sarah, and bye!